Okay, so in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the best business banking app. Now, I've tried 4 different banks in the past few years, trying to find one that is actually good, suitable, affordable, all those things, that ticks all the boxes for small business owners like me. And if you want to know what my favorite is, and there's one that stands out way beyond anything else I've tried, then please listen in and I will tell you all over the next few minutes. So the question is this: how do entrepreneurs like us, who don't have an endless supply of cash, how do we leverage the best apps, virtual assistants, automation tools and systems to scale our businesses, increase our profits and have more time to do what we love to do each day? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name's Dr. Steve Day and this is Systemize Your Success. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about business banking apps, and I've tried over the past few years a combination of Revolut, of HSBC, of Tide, and of Metro. And without a doubt, the winner out of those 4, I'm not going to hold you into suspense for the entirety of this episode for you to find out what this is. The winner, without a shadow of doubt, is Revolut. You can literally go away now, install that app, and you will be blown away by how good it is. And you won't need to listen to this episode. But if you do want to know why I think it is so much better than anything else I've tried over the past few years, then do listen in for this short but very informative episode all about the best business banking app for small business. And the winner is Revolut. Okay, so there is no secret here. There's nothing I'm going to try to hide or give away, and I have no affiliation with Revolut, just to get that in there. This is literally just me having dealt with just a mess of the business banking world for small businesses, and how totally archaic and clunky and painful the experience is with most business banks, and how this one company seems to have just got it right. So let me explain some of the problems that I've had with other banking apps. And as I said, I've been through Metro, through Tide, through HSBC, and then to Revolut. And so I've done my homework on this, and I've really tried to make those others work, but they just don't. It is that simple. Now, in second place, if I had to rank them in order, I would put HSBC, because they actually do function well as a business banking app for small business once you've got an account with them. But the problem is, it's an absolute nightmare to get an account with them. I mean, they shut down entirely through the whole COVID period. You could not even apply for an account. And if you did, when I did a few years ago, it took me 3 months to open an account. Now, Tide was a nightmare to actually set up. You have to go into the branch 3 or 4 times to actually get it all set up. And Metro was a little bit better. It could be done mainly, so Tide was online, but it was a nightmare. And Metro was actually had to go into the bank, which was not really ideal when I live in Sweden, so my business partner had to do it. So all in all, the ease of setting up Revolut was just by far the best. And by this, I mean I literally switched on the app. I answered a few quick questions. I took a photo of I think it was my passport. I entered in my company registration details, and that was it. The account was open and ready to use. I instantly got a credit card number. I instantly linked that to my Google Pay so I could use in my app immediately once I'd set it up on my phone. It was all ready to go in literally minutes. I then had to enter a couple of other details. I had never sent anything in by post. I've never had to communicate with anybody. It was all through the app, and it literally happened in minutes, and the account was up and running. Now, I am a limited company. I am VAT registered, and so maybe that made it easier. I don't know. But for me, it was just so effortless that it just, compared to the others, it was just, blew them out of the water. Now, once you've got your account open, once you've got your account open, one of the key things that all business banks need to provide for you as a business owner is the ability to add other people. Now, that may be you adding your business partner, or it may be you're adding a member of staff to make some payments for you, or to set up payments for you, or to just print off your statements. Whatever it is you need other people to do so you don't have to do it, you just need the ability to set them up on the account. Now, that should be, in my opinion, just sort of mandatory for any business banking app, but it's not. Now, I started life with HSBC, and they do have this functionality. You can add users, and I thought they were pretty good. You literally go online, you fill in a form, and then they send they send something to your user, who has to send in some ID. So it's pretty painless. It's not, it's not quick as it could be, but it's actually not too bad. And I did that remotely. I live in Sweden and my member staff lived in the UK, and it wasn't a too painful experience. But they do then send you out a physical security token to your home address, which you then have to send to your employee, which is a bit of a faff. So it's not ideal. It's clunky. It works, but it's not ideal. Now, Tide, which I thought was meant to be, a really cool online business banking app, you can't even add people. And you can't even add members of staff. You can add a business partner. So me and my business partner both had access to the account in theory. Although Tide only lets you link the account to one mobile phone, and you can't access your account details online, only through the app. So in effect, I wasn't able to access any of my account details or do any transactional inquiries or set up any transactions. All I got was a card. So yes, I was a named person on the account, but all that meant was I had a card that I could spend. I couldn't actually access any details or do any updates or any management or see anything on the app because the app was only linked to one phone, which happened to be my business partner. Now, the real problem came when I split up with my business partner and we no longer were in business together, and Tide simply said the only way to remove your business partner from the account is to close the account. So that's what I did. I closed the account. Goodbye, Tide. You just lost yourself a business customer. I mean, it was just insane. I could not remove him from the account. I couldn't even access it because I couldn't get it on my phone because it was linked to his email address and his phone number. So we couldn't do anything. So we literally just had to close the account, and good riddance. It was a pain in the bum, and I'm actually quite happy to be done with them. So that was Tide, gone for good. Metro is the other one. So yes, I do have a Metro account still, in fact, and you can add staff to that, but you have to fill in a long paper form, which you then send off to them, or maybe an online form, but it's like a long form you have to send off to them to get approved. And it's all in archaic language, banking terms. It just does not make it easy. You also have to pay 50 quid a month for a commercial account, just the ability to be able to add somebody with any ability to adjust what they can do. You can add like a business partner for free or on your basic account, but you can't add a member of staff and then limit what they can and can't do, which is what we really want to do. I want the ability for my staff to set up all my transactions for me, which I then quickly go and approve, so I don't have to go through the painful process of putting the details and everything. But I don't want them to have access to everything and actually be able to spend all my money. So I want to be able to have, different levels or different user levels. And so I want that functionality. And therefore, for me to have that in Metro, it's going to cost me, I think it was 50 quid a month for the commercial account. I had to upgrade the account. It was all a bit of a faff. Whereas, as I said before, Revolut is just like, bang, done. Literally, to add someone to Revolut, I literally put in their details, it pinged them over an email, she opened that email, took a photo of a passport, done. Full access to the account, well, the access that I wanted to give her, and I can be granular about what they can and can't do. It was just super, super easy. And so Revolut, again, wins hands down in the ability to add staff, remove staff, and actually work with a business partner as well. The other cool things with Revolut, which don't really even feature, as far as I'm aware, in any of the HSBC, Tide or Metro, is you can exchange and hold different currencies in your main sort of app, and just open as many other bank accounts as you want. So I've got a US dollars account, I've got a euro account, I've got a my pounds account, my British pounds account, and I can spend in those anyway. I've got a SEK account, so I've got a Swedish SEK account. And so therefore I can go out and spend on my cards. I've got a personal Revolut account, which I use for my personal use. That's got Swedish money in it. I go out and spend that card, it deducts it from my Swedish account. It's super easy. I can move money from one account to the other. There is some charges involved, but actually when you compare that to the charges charged even by companies like TransferWise or Wise, it actually works out cheaper because their charges are less and their exchange rate's better for Revolut. So it's absolutely brilliant. So if you work in multiple currencies, then it's definitely worth looking at just simply for that. It's just super slick. And if you want to have, a bunch of accounts, so a savings account, I have a wage account, a VAT account, a rain day account, a profit account, and a main account, a bit like Profit First. And so that's just super easy to set up in minutes on Revolut, whereas the other ones, you often have to apply and send in an application form, and it's just a faff in most of the other ones. So again, Revolut wins hands down, just the ease of setting up new accounts in multiple currencies, all in the same currency. It again wins hands down. Also, the ability to accept payments, so you can easily accept payments through your Revolut account. And I think Metro, no, I can't remember if you can do that. And when I by accepting payments, I mean someone can click a link and just give you some money, or you can set up a bill for somebody to pay you. You can do all that really easily. You can also link it to payment merchants. So if you've got a WooCommerce account or whatever, you can link it to that. I don't use it for that. I actually, for my payments, I go through Stripe. So it's not something I've actually experienced with, but it seems pretty easy. It looks pretty, it's in the app. You can just literally click and do it. So, the other thing you can do, which I really like, is I can just authorize everything by using biometrics. So if I'm on my account and I'm trying to do a payment, it'll just say, hey, can you authorize in the app? I'll literally open the app with my fingerprint, and then it'll say authorize, click a button, done. It's super, super quick. No, using security tokens or, typing a bunch of numbers or giving, doing some, whatever, those annoying things you have to do. It is like literally, it's just painless. And so I really like that. And it's just slicker than the other ones as well. So another reason. Another cool thing, I mentioned this before, but literally as I set the account up, as I set up the app in my phone, it linked automatically. Obviously I had to approve it, but it linked automatically to my Google Pay. And so therefore I could just go out and use it on my phone just instantly. And it was just like, just they've thought about it in so many ways to make it good. Cost-wise, it is slightly probably comparable to HSBC. I think my HSBC business account costs about £5 a month, £5 sterling. And the Revolut account probably costs me about the same. I'm on a free Revolut account, but then I pay per transaction. There's different charges depending on if it's a foreign transaction or an exchange or a typical back payment, whatever. But if you pay about $20 a month or £20 a month, sorry, then you get like a bunch of that included. And that's probably what most business owners need. So it's probably going to cost you about 20 quid a month. Metro is about 50 quid for an account with the ability to add users. And I can't actually remember what Tide was, but it's not an expensive thing, the Revolut account. And for the ease of use and the functionality, I definitely think it's worth it. A really cool thing, actually, that you can do with Revolut, which I've not seen in any of the other apps, is to link it via things like Zapier or Slack and use integrations. So you've actually got an integrations directly with the app. So basically what this means is they've got an API which allows other apps to talk with the banking app. And so if you get a certain transaction coming in, it can fire off something within your task management app. It can send a message in Slack. It can let you know what's going on in the place where you want that information. So for example, I could set up something up that when my particular account, the account balance goes down to a certain level, it could send a message to me in my Slack saying, hey, top up this account. Or it could send, when I get a payment from a certain person or a request for payment or whatever, then it could actually ping a message into a task management app to let my finance person know. There's endless things you could possibly do because it links via Zapier and Integromat and all the other things as well, and all that normal stuff like Xero or Sage and QuickBooks. It has all that stuff. That's what pretty much all of them do. But it also has this typical app integration stuff, which as far as I'm aware, none of the others do. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments or in the leave me a review and let me know if I've got that wrong. But that's what I understand. Another really cool thing, which I was totally unaware of even existed before I opened up my Revolut account, was the ability to have one-off payment cards. And so what this means is basically that if I want one of my staff to buy something for me, but I don't want to give them access to my credit card, I can literally just click of a button, create a one-time card that I can then send to them. I've not done this yet, so I can't tell you the precise details of it. But what I understand is I can actually limit, well, no, actually, you can limit how much money goes on that card. So you basically put on X number of pounds. So say if I'm going to say, I want my staff member to go and buy a new printer, then I could just go, here's the card. It's an e-card. It's not a physical card. Here's the card. Go and buy that printer. It costs £400. There's £400 on that card. They could then use that card. The minute they use that card disappears out of existence. So I'm literally limited to that one transaction or that amount that I've put on there. It doesn't matter if they lose it, if I email it to someone gets hold of it. It's just that amount of money that's at risk, nothing else. And I think that's such a cool thing. It's just like Revolut account is basically set up and designed to be used effectively to make your life as a business owner easy by thinking about how can I get other people and other apps and other things to make my life easier, my banking life easier. And Revolut have thought about it all as far as I can see. So as far as I'm concerned, if you are sat on the fence with which banking app to go for, it's a no-brainer. Go for Revolut. I would even go as far to say as if you've got Tide and Metro, ditch them today, open a Revolut account, you won't look back. HSBC, on the fence. HSBC is cheaper. If you've already got an account set up, it does work. It does most of what Revolut does. It's not quite as slick, but it does work. So that would be sort of, can you be bothered with the changeover? If you're on anything else, I would seriously consider it. One thing to note, as far as I'm aware, you can't automatically bring all your direct debits with you, which is a pain, I understand, but from my experience, it's well worth it. And I'm just doing it slowly. So I've now currently got a Revolut and a Metro account in parallel. I'm slowly moving over stuff over the next few months, and then I'll close down my Metro account in the near future. So that's it. I hope you found that useful. If you have, please do leave us a review, leave us a comment, leave us a rating, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're listening on YouTube to hear more fun stuff like this about all sorts of things about business and small businesses in particular, apps, technology, working with virtual assistants, and everything in between. Thanks very much indeed. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to this episode. I'm well aware there are hundreds of great business podcasts out there, and you chose to listen to this one, and for that I am truly grateful. Hopefully what you heard today took you one step closer to building a successful business so you can share your passion with the world and serve an ever-growing number of people. If you got value out of today's episode, then so will someone else you know. By sharing with others what has helped you along your way, you will grow your influence and be the guy or girl that everybody wants to know. So please hit the share button right now, and also remember to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss future episodes. It's impossible for me to cover absolutely everything in these podcasts, so please do head over to systemizeyoursuccess.com right now and download the show notes, transcriptions, and some of my best frameworks and systems for free. Thanks again for tuning in and being a part of this amazing community. Until next time, this is Dr. Steve Day, and you've been listening to Systemize Your Success.